Snow and pizza. You came here to see the snowstorm. I'm talking about pizza. I'll get to the storm in a second. First here, take a look at some of my favorite pizza joints. I believe these are all open tomorrow for Super Bowl Sunday. So shout out to them. Hopefully you get your pizza in sometime after the storm. Remember, this is going to be mostly a morning situation for a storm. So let's take a look now at the storm in more detail. So I want to start things off here to talk about what's going to be happening in the atmosphere. So I'm going to pull the layer back and show you we've got a big DGZ. What is that, you might ask? Well, it's a big dendritic growth zone. So you got to make snowflakes. So look at this. Take a look at this right here. This is for southern Maine, southern coast, okay, the location. And this is for Sunday morning. Look at this DGZ, right? So you've got plenty of snow growth going on there. Temperature is obviously below freezing, so you're going to make nice snowflakes, big snowflakes as far as the fluff factor goes. They're not going to be heavy and wet. It's going to be very light and very fluffy. Snowfall ratios approaching 17, 20 to 1. So this is ideal for getting snow and for having snow for a situation where you want to get big totals here. Now, make sure to watch until the end of this video because there are 3 opportunities here for Storm Tracker. I've got Storm Tracker up for Sunday, tomorrow, for Thursday of next week, for Sunday again of next weekend here. So make sure you are here till the end. I want to break down all 3 storms. And yes, there's this map. You might see this map, you might not. So this shows the blend of the computer models in a forecast for now until February 18th here. So take this with a grain of salt. It's not a forecast. What it is, it's showing where a bullseye of snow would be up around 20, 30 inches throughout a couple of weeks, right? So what does that mean exactly? Is there going to be 32 inches in Portland by the time we get to February 18th? Well, there could be. More likely than it's not going to happen, but it's an average of computer model forecasting. And what the signal here, this is why it's not my forecast, is that this is going to mean that get the plow on, get the shovel ready, because we have a lot of snow coming. Is it going to be exactly 32 inches? Probably not. But that's not the point here. The point is be prepared for a lot of snow coming in southern Maine, and that was really all of Maine for the next 2 weeks, okay? We've got 3 opportunities for storms here, especially in southern Maine, but also in northern Maine. Friends in northern Maine, we're going to get snow there too. So make sure you're following along on Facebook. Just put this new snowfall map up. I'll show it to you now. Here is the new snow map that I have up, okay? This is total snowfall from 10 o'clock tonight to 7 o'clock Sunday. Most of this snow is going to fall in the overnight and early on Sunday. And here's where I've upped those totals. I've been flirting with that 9 to 12 in southern Maine. Right now I've got it for just the southern coast where the highest amount of those high snowfall ratios are going to be, and also that heavy banding and a real good DGZ, a real good layer in the atmosphere where you're going to make a lot of snowflakes with a high fluff factor. Then I have that 6 to 9 from Rumford, Augusta, down towards Penobscot Bay. And then there's a sharp cutoff now because the storm is a west to east storm. It's not a south to north storm. So I have a sharp cutoff here of the 3 to 6. And then notice here the 1 to 3 stops right around just south of Holton with a dusting up in the county. I apologize to my friends in the county. You're not getting snow from this one all that much. But just stick around for the rest of the forecast because there is more snow coming up in the county. Now, here's a look at the high resolution, not more accurate, but high resolution computer modeling to show where that storm track is. You can clearly see it's a west to east track, and mostly southern New England, we'll call it Boston heading north, really. Portion here of northern New England, right? So Vermont, New Hampshire, back towards Keene, and York County. We call this a York County special because of the storm track. So York County and part of Cumberland County gets the most out of this storm because of the storm track here. So let's look at the amount of precipitation. This is not snow, not rain, none of that. This is going to be just precipitation. So if you take all of this, which is the blend here, and this is, if you look at southern Maine where the precip is, so if you get anywhere between a half or more of precip and you convert that over to snow at 15 to 1, 17 to 1, 19 to 1, you have a high fluff factor. So a half 0.6, 0.7 tenths. You get that easily can be 9 to 12 inches if this was to verify here where you've got all of that precip. And it's, once again, it's a southern Maine storm, and mostly the southern coast gets hammered by this storm. So we'll look at the start times heading up down east. And notice here it's 2 o'clock in the morning or midnight down in Bar Harbor, and 4 o'clock in the morning over in Calais and up in the county. I mean, it's not really going to snow there, so no start time there. If you look at the end time, so we're going to go kind of in reverse here. So the end time for the storm wraps up Sunday, certainly before the Super Bowl. And notice here it ends by noon, okay, or before noon for 10 o'clock in the morning, Jackman, Skowhegan, Rockland here. It ends at 11 o'clock in the morning, Sanford, Portsmouth. So generally about between 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning, southern and western Maine, this storm is going to end by then in southern and western Maine. If you look at the start time, it's after 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock in New Hampshire, and it's 10 and 11 o'clock down towards Sanford, 11 o'clock Auburn, and then after midnight, as you head here, Rockland, Augusta, heading up towards, Jackman, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. By the time those snow bands start to head inland and start to head north, okay? So that's your start and stop times for the storm. I want to show you something else. This is a really cool thing by the National Weather Service, and it shows the impact. So I get a lot of big hard time on social media. I'm not making a big deal out of storms that we get a couple inches. This one, moderate impacts anytime you're in this orange shade, and I agree with this completely here. So moderate impacts from the storm from Sanford, Portland, and then to moderate to major down in Portsmouth, the seacoast, and the North Shore down towards Amesbury and the North Shore of Mass, okay? But it's very spotty, the major. You have to get around a foot for that. So this is why southern coast has that 9 to 12 stripe, is because there are moderate impacts expected. So obviously driving will be impacted the most by this. Not so much an infrastructure thing, but definitely watch out, obviously, if you're out early on Sunday. So we'll take a look at that map, and I'll just widen it out and show you why this is not a major storm for most of Maine. You'll notice here, take a look, this cutoff here, right around Portland. So this is where you have this is a minor storm. Down east, western foothills, Katahdin region north, this is a nothing burger. Nothing happens over there. You get a dusting to an inch at most. So it's not a big deal at all heading north here. So here's a look at that in greater detail. So head down to a place like Boston and Providence, moderate, Albany flirting with major, but outside of north of Augusta, you get up to Bangor north, it's mostly a nothing burger. Bangor is kind of on that fringe. So we'll talk now about storm energy. The atmosphere, to get storms, you need energy to come through the atmosphere. So I'm going to show you this energy. Well, that's my website. Let me get back to the energy so I can show you this in more detail. So here's the energy. I'm going to show you the energy for this storm. This is a pretty flat wave that's coming through on Sunday. So here's that flat wave of energy. Now it's moving west to east. Here's your energy. And notice here, the base of this little piece of energy, of this trough that's coming through, is south of southern Maine. So it's all snow for us because that energy is to our south. So keep that in mind now going forward. So there's your energy for the storm for tonight and tomorrow. Then we'll go out a bit, and I want to show you the next storm. We'll get a little break. Here's the next storm to come through. This is that Thursday time frame. And this energy, watch here, this is now moving over Maine. So there's an opportunity here for a mix. Notice the energy is right on top of us. So there's an opportunity for a mix, especially along the coast, with the Thursday storm. I'll get to that in more detail. And then I want to show you real big-time energy coming in. This is the Sunday storm, okay? And notice here what you have. You've got an upper-level system here that is closed off. It's vertically stacked in the atmosphere. And this has a little bit more of that nor'easter kind of vibe to it. You've got your energy rounding the base of the trough. And that right there is a significant storm. So especially as you get into Sunday from next weekend, there's an opportunity there for a pretty good sized storm that would be statewide. Then after that, this is now February 21st, another storm comes through. And look at this energy here that's rounding the base of this trough, digging. Here's your closed upper level low, and you got another storm coming through. So that's at least 3 more storms coming next couple of weeks here for Maine. So I'll zoom in now, and you can get a closer look at that energy coming through. This is the storm coming through on Sunday. There it is. Once again, it's to the south of us. That means it's all snow. Then the next storm that comes through with that energy, this is the Thursday storm. And notice, we could certainly mix from this. The energy from this storm is now, look, it's north of York County. So this would not be a York County special. York County would start off as snow and then change over with that energy right there from that storm on Thursday. But then watch the storm coming for the following weekend, and look at here. This energy could really blow up. Big upper level low stacked in the atmosphere that comes through. Then the next storm that comes through, that energy, I'm even zoomed in too close here, but this energy here is very significant looking down the road. So here's the look at the precipitation for the storms. So this is the Thursday storm. I can go back and show you the storm for tonight. So here's the storm for tonight. That's a track to the south, so it's all snow. It's a York County special, southern coast. And then the storm for Thursday, the storm Tuesday misses us. It's a New Jersey storm. Then the storm here. This is the storm for Thursday. And notice here, you start off as all snow, and then you go and change over where I just showed you. You change over in York County because you've got that warm air. If you get that low here, if we get a nor'easter to form and it's hugging the coast, if you want all snow, it's got to be down here. Because that storm is 25, 50 miles north, if that track is north, then southern Maine changes over to rain. If that happens right now. This is still several days away, but that would be your track for Thursday. Then the Sunday storm has a lot more moisture with it. The track is in the Gulf of Maine, right here, and that's all snow, and that has a classic nor'easter look. So a nor'easter watch about to get put up for Sunday by me. Let's do it one storm at a time, though. But that looks like a lot like a nor'easter. Thursday potentially be a nor'easter. Next Sunday has a much greater potential, and then another storm coming through into the following Thursday. So it's February 21st. So look at it in more detail. Here's a look at the storm tonight and tomorrow, and you see where those heavy snow bands are setting up right here. The storm track is right here. Here's your heavy snow bands, southern Maine, but northern Maine will really miss out on this one considerably. So that's the storm coming through tonight and tomorrow. That's out of here. We clear out for a couple of days. Storm on Tuesday is a New Jersey. It's Delmarva, and then clear that out. And then let's go to the storm. This is the bigger storm. So this could have an ice component to it. If you throw moisture here and you throw warm air or warm kind of nose of air in the atmosphere. So you got to watch out here for ice, especially right here back towards the Adirondacks, back towards Albany, southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, Keene, over towards western Mass, Springfield. And then in Maine, it's all snow to start, but watch what happens. They put the map into motion just a bit here. Then that warm air overtakes the storm, but by then we could have several inches certainly on the ground. So then here's the storm for, we'll back up to the storm for tonight here on just the high resolution look at things. And by tonight, by 11, by midnight, it is snowing in southern Maine. And then I'm going to stop it here. This is in the overnight, about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. You've got very heavy snow bands here in southern Maine. Very heavy. And they're the big-time fluff factor. So we know fluff factor in Maine. So you get fluffy snow, it's going to accumulate very quickly. And then that storm pulls out of here during the day Sunday. This is around 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. You've got some light snow up in the western mountains, heading up towards the Boundary Plateau. And the heaviest snow has pulled off the coast. So if you want to go out and dig out, and the plow guy needs to come, the afternoon Sunday, middle of the day and afternoon is where the bulk of that snow is going to be over with, and you can certainly do your plowing and your shoveling. And then you go out and get your obviously you want to get your pizza. It's Sunday afternoon. You can go out and get it. So on nappycast.com, that's the forecast right there. There's a there's a NappyCast link, right, where you can watch the latest video that I'm making right now. Here's the forecast that I just made for tomorrow, for today. The snow map here is all right there on nappycast.com, and then on jasonnappyweather.com. Donations if you want to help me out, blog posts, all the blogs where I talk about these storms in greater detail, put the peak storms, the start and stop time, the snowfall map, the evolution of the forecast. It's all here, and you can subscribe right there for free. You can also obviously donate if you want to help out. And there's an About Me section and everything about my history in Maine. The last 30 years my family's been here, and my last 22 years when I was in television and working as a meteorologist, the last more than 10 years as a certified broadcast meteorologist. So yeah, tracking snow right here. I thank you so much for watching. I will be here tracking the storm here and the next several storms that are coming. We've got opportunity for several more storms coming down the pipeline. Thank you so much for watching.